Hey, hey. All right. Welcome to my midnight live. I'm going to tell you about it, Monica. Welcome to my midnight live. How you guys doing tonight? It is almost 12:30, and I had a wonderful day. So I want to say welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So yeah, I have not been around all day because I was with the in-laws, and we actually had a really nice day. So they're at a hotel tonight, and because the dogs, but they came back here. We talked for a while. I made them a candle with their pictures and their name, and they absolutely loved it. And that was it. We went for a good dinner. And when I checked my phone at some point today, I saw that someone sent me this fake court document. I don't think it was fake, but it's not legal. And I'm going to explain all about it. Hey, pretty. So you love the late night streams? I wasn't even going to go live because I was working on the website. I see I got a bunch of new orders, so I want everyone to know I'm going back to candles tomorrow, I promise. I got in 125 pounds of wax. And I got a whole bunch of new scents in. I got more scents coming. Actually ordered like 20 scents that I completely forgot about that I ordered. And they came today and I'm like, holy shit. So yeah, I'm going to have another 30 cents for everybody. So on the first page of the website, I put up some of the new scents. Then I was going to do a hover, and I was like, it's going to take me forever. I haven't even added them to the website yet, but I wanted to get the Valentine's stuff off. So if you have an existing order and you want to change your scent, let me know, and I will make note of it. So candles are calming. That's good. All right. So let's get to this. If there's one thing that I happen to know about, it's the law. Why? Because I spent 6 years in a tumultuous custody fight and played my own attorney for 3 of them. So I understand about the law. I studied it, like probably I know more about the law than I do other things. And there's certain things that carry on to any aspect of the law. And JLR and Andra are idiots. And I'm going to explain why with proof. So, how many candles would you say you make a week? It depends on the week. Hey, Janelle, sometimes I make 15, sometimes I'll make 55, 100. It all depends. So, yeah, my kids have like a 5-day weekend or something. All right. So, first things first. When you file an order of any type, it has to be in the state that you're in. You can file an order against somebody in another state. That's not a problem. But legally, it has to be in the state that you're in. You can't file a restraining order. Like, I can't file a restraining order against somebody from New York. It's not legal. It will get thrown out instantly. If I don't live in the state, the crime didn't happen in the state. Your crime, restraining order, abuse, anything has to happen in the state that you live in. This is Law 101. So, yes, you can file, let's say, I think Crude said he lived in New York, maybe. I don't know, but for some reason I think upstate New York. Maybe it's the way he looks. I don't know. But Andrea lives in Florida. The only place that a restraining order can be done is in the state of Florida. You can't pick a random state and just file a restraining order. Even if Crude lived in South Carolina, even if he did, she still can file in South Carolina. She has to file in her home state. That's where the crime took place. So right then and there, this thing is getting thrown out. Right then and there, she shows what a fucking idiot she is. Because I don't know where they even picked South Carolina from. But you can't file there. I have a friend who is a lawyer and a paralegal. I help them at times. I like it. It's true, though. It's just fact. Hey, MJ. It's just fact. Like, you have to file in the place that you did the crime or that the crime took place. I give you another example. If I rob a store in New York and I'm found in Florida, I don't get charged in Florida. The crime took place in New York. Therefore, they bring me back to New York because that's where the crime took place. This covers civil law, criminal law, all law. It has to happen there. So this made up thing in South Carolina, yeah, okay. Secondly, I don't care how big or small this town in South Carolina is or where this order came from, but nobody is getting a court date within 5 or 7 days. And if they are getting a court date, it's because they lied and said that they need this immediate order. All right, no. To get a temporary restraining order, yes, you will get an order that fast. Now that I think about it, you'll get a motion to show cause, which is what was filed. You will get it that fast. But that's also why Andrea lied and said that he sexually harassed her, because that's one of the only ways you'll be able to get what she needs, by saying that she sexually harassed her. She has to then prove her bullshit. Him doing commentary on the internet is not harassing her. He is never and I don't even know Crude, but I can tell you this. He's never contacted her personally. He's never reached out to her. He's never sexually abused her. He's never been in contact with her. He never harassed her. If he wants to see harassment, go check out Ballet Babe or Investigator 911. That's harassment. There's somebody else whose name I will not mention who just lies. That's harassment. Doing commentary on somebody's video is not harassment. It's commentary. He has a right to do it. Whether we like it or not, he still has a right to do it. The same way anybody else does. So her example, her proof of harassment is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Because, first of all, that's not harassment. Whether I like the fact when they do commentary on me or if I don't like the fact, oh well. At the end of the day, commentary is commentary. I would much rather have Burnt Toast go through my videos and go after me with a fine-tooth comb. Okay. I'd much rather have that than these fucking psychos that talk about me every single day and lie about everything they hear. I would much rather have someone like Burnt Toast, because if Betty Butthead wants someone like Psycho or the other Psycho to make up lies about them on a daily, that's fucking harassment. So get your facts straight about what's harassment, because what Crude does is not harassment, nor does he do it in this horrendous way. What Weinstein did to Tiffany, that's harassment. I could think of really good examples of harassment. Crude's not one of them, honestly. So it is falsifying a police report. But let me also show you what I found. Talking about JLR for a minute, because this is pretty wild. I didn't know this, and it happened back in 2009. Hold on, let me show you guys. I didn't really know he was this fucking stupid, but I guess he is. Oh. Okay, so this dumbass filed a civil action in Kentucky against Harvard Business Review and Harvard Business School Publishing Corporation. Yes, you heard that right. Jonathan Lee Richards, a.k.a. Bernard Madoff, DBA Stephen Michael Rubenstein. Yeah, you heard that right. Plaintiff Jonathan Lee Richards is a convicted federal prisoner currently incarcerated at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky. Jonathan Lee Richards moves for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction because I face imminent danger and bodily economic harm from defendants. Okay, let me just all state he was in prison at this time, but the wording is very similar to Crude's, to the one that she sent Crude. Collectively, who are media editors who have continued to write articles of defamation of my character, and they are violating my copyrighted trademark name under the Uniform Commercial Code. Defendants are putting a serious burden on my life, which has caused me panic attacks and loss of appetite. Mind you, this man is in prison when he's writing this, okay? The manner in which my sentence was executed is unconstitutional and in violation of my Eighth Amendment rights for cruel and unusual punishment. Defendants have been calling the main switchboard at FMC Lexington, Kentucky every day trying to interview me and trying to voice transcript my life to play on Twitter. Defendants created web blogs on my name, which puts me in danger from identity theft victims. Now, mind you, keep in mind, he is a criminal at this point. He is incarcerated at this point. Defendants labeled me as a cyber terrorist and wrote on their website I was involved with the financing of the Mumbai massacre in India at the blank motel that I hacked into the casino vault at MGM. They published in an Avon mail catalog that I stole identities of the Fortune 500 company's CEO and that I had secret links to Bertie Madoff, where I hid millions in funds in Switzerland. This is erroneous, and the defendant's stories are fabricated on my life. Defendants send reporters to the front steps here to interview me or try to post my mugshot online. Defendants sold articles to Google on me. I pray this court will grant my motions for relief. Exactly. He filed like 3,000 of these. I totally agree. What's up, Allison? What blows my mind about this is that a judge wrote a 4-page answer. I was in a 6-year custody fight, tumultuous, 265 or 256 court appearances over the course of 6 years. I only got a 2-page response. JLR got a 4-page response. That's kind of mind-blowing. And I know that even a 1-page response takes time. So the detail that this judge had to write due to this erroneous complaint from a prisoner is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. I don't know what he was charged with here. Maybe it'll say it in here. I haven't read through this. I haven't read the whole thing. It is axiomatic that federal district courts are courts of limited jurisdiction and their powers, blah, blah, blah. Case law, which established federal courts limited jurisdiction, holding power, more case law. Plaintiff fails in his attempt to invoke this court's jurisdiction. I couldn't say the word. Under the diversity statute, based on his state law claim of defamation, as he seeks only equitable relief and therefore fails to meet the amount in controversy required by the statute. Original jurisdiction of all civil actions arising from the Constitution, laws, or treaties of the U.S. Plaintiff alleges that the method in which his sentence was executed is unconstitutional and violates his Eighth Amendment. A federal prisoner may only raise a challenge to this execution of a sentence by way of a petition for writ of habeas corpus. Is appropriate for claims challenging the execution or manner in which the sentence is served, and such an action must be brought against the official who has custody of the inmate and in the jurisdiction where the inmate is incarcerated. Plaintiff cannot bring any Bivens federal civil action as he does not sue any federal actors, and he cannot bring any state civil rights as he does not sue any state actors. Plaintiffs claim defendant media editors are violating my copyrighted trademark name. That's exactly what Betty wrote in hers. Under the UCC Uniform Commercial Code, fails meet the notice pleading requirement of Rule 8 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Federal rules require that a complaint must contain a short and plain statement of the claim showing that the pleader is entitled to relief. Plaintiff designates JLR, aka Bertie Madoff, DBA Stephen Michael Rubinson, as plaintiff in the caption of the complaint, yet fails to indicate which name or names are the subject of his claim. He further fails to indicate which section of the UCC are being violated or what conduct. Give the defendant fair notice of what the plaintiff's claim is and the grounds. Because plaintiff fails to give the defendant fair notice of what the plaintiff's claim is and the grounds for which it rests. His UCC claim must be dismissed. In conclusion, plaintiff fails either to specify the basis of this court's jurisdiction over his complaint or to clarify the type of action he's doing. He bundles claim and causes of actions in one paragraph. He sues 23 defendants, none of whom appear to be located in Kentucky. Let me say that again. He bundles in claims and cause of action. I'm sorry, I said I went too fast. All right. He fails to name, yet fails to indicate which name or names of the 36 people. He also fails to indicate which section is being violated and what conduct of which part of the 23 defendants violates the UCC. Because plaintiff fails to give the defendants fair notice of what the plaintiff's claim is and the grounds upon which it rests, his UCC must be dismissed. In conclusion, plaintiff fails either to specify the basis of this court's jurisdiction over his complaint or to clarify the type of action he is bringing. He bundles claims and causes of actions in one paragraph, sues 23 defendants, none of whom appear to be in Kentucky. So, even if Crude lives in South Carolina, Betty has to go to South Carolina to fight this. Once she gets there, all Crude has to say is she lives in Florida. She doesn't live in South Carolina. Again, this has to be done in the place that the crime took place. Not where the defendant lives, where the crime took place. If Betty feels she's being harassed, then the crime took place in the state of Florida, not in South Carolina. And again, I never heard Crude talk with a South Carolina accent. I really think he's from upstate New York, I think, but I don't know for sure. And fails to describe the action of each. For these reasons, the instant action will be dismissed by order for lack of subject matter jurisdiction under Rule 12 and for failure to meet the notice pleading requirement of Rule 8. This is Betty versus Crude. But no, not this one. This one is Jonathan Lee Riches, while in prison, suing Harvard Business Review and Harvard Business School. Because he is such a fucking idiot. Okay. So now let's get to theirs. So a South Carolina judge issued a temporary restraining order against Frank Wolf for stalking and harassing. Do they even understand the definition of stalking or harassment? BHB also filed police reports against Crawford. Sorry for doxing you, but it's obviously public. Okay. Upon the filing of the attached motion and complaint by the plaintiff, the court held an emergency hearing pursuant to SC Code on February 15, 2022, and found good cause to issue the attached temporary restraining order, which prohibits you, the defendant, from committing any of the acts in the order. The court has scheduled a hearing to determine why the order should not be extended for a full 1-year period. You have the right to be present at the hearing, which will be held on 2/22 at 9 a.m. in Taylor, South Carolina. Probably my 3 healers. Exactly, Boss B. Exactly. It says failure to appear at the hearing may result in the extension of the period of the temporary restraining order. Notice to defendant, you have the right to employ a counsel to represent you. Okay. Betty, you don't live in South Carolina. This entire thing is null and void. And for some reason, if it goes through, okay, if it just happens to go through, you know what this means? That he can harass Betty in the state of South Carolina. That's all this means. He can harass her, and I'm not saying he's harassing her, but if he was harassing her, he could do it in another state. If he's in New York, he could do it in New York. If he's in Florida, he could do it in Florida. He just can't do it in the state of South Carolina. That's it. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. I heard about him being in world records, but yes, there's actually no world record for it. I don't know who started that rumor, but the Guinness Book of World Records said there's no category for it, but it really was, if there was a category for it, he would have won it. That's what the truth is. If you go to the South Carolina public record and put in the case number, it doesn't come up. Neither names come up either in the case. It may not come up in, I don't know if a restraining order would come up. Don't you have to? Yes, you do. You absolutely do. Let me check South Carolina. Hold on. Yeah, she doesn't live in South Carolina. I don't understand the South Carolina thing. Like, I'm having a hard time understanding that. Because he doesn't live in she doesn't live in South Carolina. It did not take place in South Carolina. There was no harassment done in South Carolina. That might be true. Twin Cities, that might be true. That I thought he sued the Guinness Book of World Record because they wouldn't put him in it. I would not doubt that for 1 second. Hold on. What was that? All right. County of Greenville. All right. You may have, did you look in criminal or did you look in civil? Because it would be civil, not criminal. Oh, so he does live in South Carolina? I don't know if she's in South Carolina. But it's not his state. It would be her state. Magistrate Courts. So he does live in North Carolina? I mean, South Carolina, I'm wrong then. There's east, north, west. Say which one? Oh. Oh, East. All right. East. Docket. Yeah, this hasn't been updated since 2021. Yeah, this hasn't been updated.
This is a guide through domestic violence court for the 13th Judicial Circuit, serving Greenville and Pickens County.
I don't know. They don't have anything like laid out easy. But what a fucking idiot. Now, I believe it's a real court document. But it's total bullshit. Because again, you don't file in the other person's state. You file in your own state. What did Betty do? She filed a restraining order. Not a restraining order. Yeah, a temporary restraining order against Crude as fuck. What about all the other people that go after her? There's plenty of others that go after her that have more pull than he does. How come she's not going after them? Like, this is such bullshit. It's not about harassment. It's about he's probably the only person that she could find his address to. Because Burnt Toast has gone after her much harder. But you're an investigator, Betty. How come you can't find Burnt Toast this shit? It's so stupid. Tails SC would be Greenville. Yeah, I'm on Greenville. But they haven't updated their magistrate court information since 2021. Should be in a lot of shit for lying to the courts about Crude on court. I know. Because maybe she has a friend in South Carolina. I don't know. Maybe she's using somebody else's address. But yeah, it's not done. And you can't file a restraining order in that person's state. She's an idiot. She knows nothing about the law. And they have to be some of the dumbest criminals I've ever seen. Like, you just can't get any dumber. I found out Molly, nonprofit. It is true. It's not legit. There's already one. And the YouTuber named Donald Duck is a paralegal. And she found out he was on the grounds already. That's not new, Valentina. That's old. A lot of people have gone ham on her. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. Why is she only going after him? And a lot of people would say to me, too, why are you sticking up for Crude? I'm not sticking up for Crude. Again, what's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. And I just think it's ridiculous that for two criminals, they know so little about the law. Oh, yeah, Winter. If you go on his Twitter, it's there. How come she's not going after Molly? How come she's not coming after... I mean, we should all fucking do videos about Betty. Is she going to come after all of us? Okay. There's more. Defendant identifiers. Blue hair, brown eyes. I mean, brown hair, blue eyes. Male. No height given. No weapons. The court hereby finds that it has jurisdiction over the parties and subject matter. Additional findings of this order are set forth below. The court hereby orders that the above-named defendant be restrained from committing further acts of abuse or threats of abuse. Okay, once again, when did Crude threaten Betty? That would be never. When did Crude go after Betty? That would be never. And I'm not a Crude big fan, but this is bullshit. This is beyond bullshit. I hear that the above named defendant to be restrained from any contact with the protected person as set forth on the attached forms. I don't think he's had contact with her. She's the psycho that sent forms to his whole family. The terms of this under shall remain in effect from until 2/22. The date of the hearing on the attached rule to show cause and may be extended by this court at that time for good cause shown. Warnings to defendant. The order shall be enforced in any county of South Carolina and by the courts of any state, District of Columbia, any U.S., and may be enforced by tribal lands. Crossing state, territorial, tribal boundaries to violate this order may result in a federal imprisonment. Only the court can change this order. The order shall be enforced in any county in South Carolina and by the courts of any state. Oh, so this is different, though. So this is stating that this order in South Carolina is good in any state. I know, you're right, though. A temporary restraining order is always granted. But she paid $55 for this, and she has to pay to go down South Carolina. What's the worst case scenario? He doesn't talk about her anymore? And? So we'll talk about Molly. He'll talk about somebody else. Like Betty, you're not that fucking important. I've seen him make a lot of money, and it's not on your name. It's on Molly's. So you might want to deflate your fucking big head, because even if this went through with your lies, even if it went through, guess what? So big deal, you don't talk about you anymore. It's really not that big of a deal. But keep wasting your money. Like, it's so stupid. She is a nut job. I agree. It will be dismissed when they go to court. I absolutely agree. Talking about an interview, and someone in the chat asked, is that the mom you strangled? Show cause hearing, the right got Frank to argue to deny this relief. It absolutely is going to deny it. It's bullshit. But the fact that this was done in his state is asinine. Asinine. Like, sorry, Betty. It's got to be done in your state. I'm telling you, she lied and said she lived in South Carolina. I would guarantee it. Yeah, deflate your big head. Wow. Just wow. Harassment, yeah, but making videos about somebody is not harassment. I'm going to show you harassment, all right? Okay, you want to see harassment? When a channel every fucking day, multiple times a day, does videos about you when you don't even talk about them. This is harassment. So, Betty, you want some fucking psycho on you? I'll gladly give you this one. This is harassment. What they did in Tennessee is harassment. I agree. This bitch is crazy. And she's not the only crazy one. That's true. Freedom of speech, and we're entitled to an opinion. That's exactly right. Everybody is entitled to an opinion, and everybody has a right to state an opinion based on something, but it crosses a line when people lie about you, which Crude isn't lying about her, but there are people that lie about me constantly. That's harassment. And make videos with their lies. That's harassment. What he did is not, what he's doing with Betty, that's not harassment. This chick is fucking clueless. Clueless. So, does that have talking about you on YouTube when she does the same thing? I don't know. And no, the order is in effect from her fake C&D that she sent him. The reason why I say it's a fake C&D, she said that he sexually harassed her. No, you didn't. He never sexually harassed you, you fucking liar. But according to her, he sexually harassed her because she needed to put that in because that's South Carolina law, which I also looked up. So you're welcome, Crude. But that's the other thing I looked up. The standard of test in South Carolina is the standard test for the order can be sought is whether or not there is evidence of harassment or risk of violence against a victim. I'm sorry, that was anywhere. In South Carolina specifically. Harassment in South Carolina means a pattern of intentional, substantial, and unreasonable intrusion into the private life of a targeted person that causes the person and would cause a reasonable person to his position to suffer mental distress. Betty, let me let you in on a little secret. You lost subs because you're a fucking narcissistic asshole. That's why you lost subs. You did not lose subs because Crude as fuck with under 10,000 subs basically started talking about you when he had the same amount of subs as you. I've seen him talk about Molly a lot more than he ever talked about you. You're not that important. He spoke about you for a short while because of your own actions and your own narcissism. That's why he spoke of you. Other than that, Molly's much more fun to talk about than you are. I know that hurts a little, and I know that, bothers you a little, but Molly really is much more fun to talk about than you are. Like, I don't even listen to videos about you because you're that fucking lame. But I know in your narcissistic head, you're brilliant. You're a billionaire. You're top of the world. You and Olivia and JLR travel all over the world. Bitch, sit down. Seriously, sit your fucking fat old ass down. Because the more you talk about your lies, the more you embarrass yourself. Like, for real. It's embarrassing. So I'm just dumbfounded that I don't know. I'm just dumbfounded by the stupidity of all of them. Not Crude, but all the rest of them. JLR and fucking Andra. Like, are you really this dumb? But yeah, they are. There was something else I wanted to look up. All right. Riches was incarcerated at Federal Medical Center, Lexington, Kentucky, for wire fraud under the terms of a plea bargain. Sentenced to 125 months in prison for fraud and conspiracy. Oh, look at this. Jonathan Lee Richards was in a South Carolina prison. Interesting. South Carolina, he might know people. I'm telling you, she used the address. Britney Spears lawsuit in Tampa filed by Jonathan Lee Richards. In 2019, this is crazy. He convinced the New Yorker he was part of an organization called Jews for Trump. A former federal prisoner has filed thousands of frivolous lawsuits, revealed in a profile how he fooled the media in the run-up to the 2018 election. Just for November 6th election, posing as a Jewish Trump supporter, was picked out of a rally just after the shooting of the Tree Life Synagogue. Richards duped a New York reporter into believing he was a Jewish Trump supporter named Jonah Rich, who claimed to live in Florida and to have been to 20 Trump rallies. As Richards explained to HuffPost, none of that was true. The only thing that was real is that I told him was maybe close to my name, Jonah Rich, Jonathan Richards, and my age. I'm from Philadelphia. The New Yorker removed the article and put up an editor's note explaining that Richards and a source provided to confirm his identity and had misrepresented themselves. Richards' story reaches back years to his beginnings as a serial litigant. While he was in prison for wire fraud in the early 2000s, Richards filed thousands of frivolous lawsuits against people like Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, and President George W. Bush. Richards was such an irritant that he was blocked from filing additional lawsuits in 2010. Upon his release in 2012, Richards violated his probation by driving to Newton, Connecticut and impersonating the uncle of a Newtown shooter, Adam Lanza. He was rearrested and released in 2015, right as the 16th presidential campaign was reaching. In an interview with writer Luke Bryan, Richards doesn't seem to put any thought at all into his actions or their effect on people. As 2020 election revs up, I don't know what the future is going to be like. I just think that 2019 is going to be bloody, blah, blah, blah. Dude, this man is fucked up. I warned Molly. Man accused of filing phony lawsuit against Giffords. Indicted. He sues Michael Ballard. Bill to limit appeals from jailed as inmates request swamp. I mean, there is so many. I'm on page 2. There's tons of them. Hey, Damaris, tons. She sued Anne Hathaway because while filming in Philly, she didn't visit the federal prison. What? The Pennsylvania inmate is known in cyberspace as the most litigious man in history. To his cult following on the internet, he's a modern comic genius. To the court system, he's a scourge. She didn't visit the federal prison where he was jailed. So he sued Anne Hathaway. For real. He sued wide receiver Terrell Owens, charging Owens spiked quarterback Donovan McNabb's water bottle. He likes water bottles. With the sedative Lunesta during the fourth quarter of the Eagles, costing Richards hundreds of dollars in a jailhouse bet. 37-year-old white guy from the Philadelphia suburbs. Richards once filed a civil complaint against Black History Month. I can't believe it's not butter. He sued Green River serial killer Gary Ridgway, actor Danny DeVito. No, he's been in a couple of different prisons. Heidi Fleiss, Amtrak, Greyhound, several airlines saying their high rates were preventing the love of his life from visiting him. Richards even sued the Guinness Book of World Record, claiming it wanted to recognize him for filing the most lawsuits in the history of mankind and complaining that many nicknames he's been tagged with. Fucking crazy. We're hurting his feelings. But Richards now turned attention to mass murder of Michael Eric Ballard. In a legal filing 2 weeks ago, Richards sought to intervene in the case involving Ballard is on death row for massacring 4 people in Northampton. Richards promised newly discovered evidence for the court's consideration and vowed to produce graphs, charts, photographs, exhibits, and telephone transcripts. Dude, he is insane. More signed by Richards and 4 others. I wonder if Betty was listed. Whose names may or not be of his, Sue names, which he has done before, will be going the way of his other suits. Generally, these kind of things I deposit in a wastebasket. It's not a problem for Richards to file most of the lawsuits. Oh, he filed most of his lawsuits while serving a 125-month federal sentence. Prosecutors said spam emails were sent to tens of thousands of America Online customers asking for their personal identity. The information was then sold to Richards, who used it to take out credit card accounts in other names, according to court records. So that's what he went to jail for. He went to jail for ripping people off in internet scams. He sent spam emails were sent to tens of thousands of America Online AOL customers, asking for their personal identification. Then the information was then sold to him, who used it to take out credit card accounts in other names, according to court records. Wow. Oh, it comes with Melon app. I don't know what song it is. He's definitely a strange one. But that wasn't in jail. That's why he went to jail. Is making credit cards in other people's names. Molly, you might want to watch your credit cards. Richards traveled without permission to Newton. Yeah, that was sick. A self-made video posted on YouTube show Richards driving to Lanza's house, homemade dolls of Lanza and his brother in the passenger seat. When Richards arrived on the street, he was turned away by a police brigade. We are truth seekers, Rich says on the reporting, and we're going to find out why Adam was mind-controlled and manipulated to go in and allegedly shoot little kids in Sandy Hook University. Wow. for his Chester County violation. Riches was resentenced to 2.5 years in prison and a detainer for violating his terms. I know that I need to take my medications, says Riches at a hearing in 2013. Dude, this guy is insane. 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 I warned Molly. Inmate sues Vic for 63, what is that, quadrillion? He filed 3,800 lawsuits. Just wow. Yeah, he definitely needs meds. Crazy. Public figure. Do you know he's a public figure? Lord help me if a federal prisoner for stealing credit card info is a public figure. He is criminally insane. I agree. Let him sue me. I'll laugh my ass off. Because, believe me, it seems like he's got more money than I do. He's fucking nuts. Crazy. Crazy. Now, I know about him. I actually know about him from Chris Watts' case. He ran one of the biggest troll groups in the Chris Watts case. That's how I know who he is. Crazy. But he lives in Tampa. With Betty. Not with her, but kind of with her. Same state. Oh, he's very Sue happy. He is a total nutcase. As soon as Molly told me she met them in, whatchamacallit, that she met them, I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. I said, stay as far away from him as possible. She want to listen. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. JLR definitely wants attention. He is a professional troll. But does he really make money doing that? I mean, can you make money doing that? Funny thing is that if you dare mention MGL or link her videos, that they would insta-ban you from the group, and then he was her bestie. Good point. Have a documented proof that he's antisocial and borderline. I think he's more than that. I think he's fucking psychotic. Hey, BlackRock, how you feeling? That's what I'm saying, Harley. I know that they were going to. Someone showed me some proof that they were trying to, their whole plan was to sue Marissa. And it fell apart because she backed out or they kicked her out too soon. Thank you, Damaris. So they kicked her out too soon. I don't exactly know what happened. Crazy. Crazy. People are woo-woo. He's broke? I don't know. He filed a lot of lawsuits. He's probably not so broke now. Him and Betty made out pretty good. Really pretty good. Yeah, he's a big catch. So, the other thing I want to say, last night, I was going through some... I know tomorrow starts the new format with Scott Peterson, but I've been jumping ahead with this Holly Bobo case. Does anyone really know the case? I am blown away by it. Like, completely blown away. And I have my thoughts on it already. I've been trying to watch as much as possible, although I should be worrying about Scott Peterson because that starts tomorrow. But I am actually pretty excited over the Holly Bobo case, and I'm blown away at some of the shit I found. No, he didn't impersonate the Sandy Hook shooter. He impersonated the uncle. What were they going to sue Molly for? They were trying to sue... Well, from what I understand, no, they left the printer there. They didn't even take the printer. They left it. You do know a voice? I'm blown away. Absolutely blown away. I think the brother's involved, but I'm not going to get too far ahead. Yeah, they were going to sue Molly. They were going to wait until Heels on the Ground was something, and then they were going to sue her. For 1,500 heels, exactly. But they knew Molly had money. Molly, I believe, was targeted. Yeah, he hasn't won anything. Yeah, he impersonated Adam Lanza's cousin. Toaster oven, what lawsuit? He hasn't never won a single lawsuit. I mean, and then he got Betty to do it. Remember, he got Betty to file $125 file to laundry parents. Cost her $125 for a $30 sign. That's the people we deal with. Ah, thanks, Doohickey. 2-month anniversary. I watched Holly Bobo documentary. I'm telling you, I'm not going to give away too much, but I think the son's involved. I really do. I'm convinced that the brother knows something. The brother knew something. And I really tend to think that the people sitting in jail are innocent. But we're going to get to that when we get to Holly Bobo next week. Because that's a brand new case for me. I don't know enough to wing it. Thank you, Doohickey. I don't know enough to wing it. So that's why, like, Scott Peterson, I can wing a lot of it because I know the case like the back of my hand. But this Holly Bobo, I didn't know it. And I really think these people are innocent, but I can't give too much. Hey, Ruby. It's wild, Lacey. Absolutely wild. Maybe the mom's involved too, but I'm going to get to all that later. But tomorrow starts Scott Peterson. Thank you, BlackRock. Is this the one she was... Yes, Neon. That's it. And if you're not familiar, get familiar with it. Sends water in the mail to... What? Jonathan Lee Richards sends water in the mail to Flint, Michigan residents? Dude, he's fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts. The llamas think what they're doing is fine. They don't stop them. Hey, Rachel. I know. Alicia, it's really good case. Really good case. Brother was home. Mom making calls to him in the house. Yep. I'm telling you, it's a wild, wild case that I think innocent people are in jail. What's the best way? Yeah, you can reach me on Twitter, email, doesn't matter. Actually, the way I'm going to see it fastest, if you go to the website, send me a message there. He owed them money, it's possible. But I think they're innocent. I think the one that committed suicide, probably the one that killed himself, is the one that did it. But it reminds me so much of Making a Murderer. Because nothing fits the description, but yet they're in jail. But I'm getting way too far ahead. Can't get this far ahead. Hey, Cuttlefish. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, I gave you some of it, but the new format, I can't speak too much ahead of time. Because then I ruin the whole format. So I got to keep my big mouth shut. Yeah, he sent water to people in Flint, Michigan. He's insane. He's fucking insane. All right. I think it took Holly for, I don't know. They say it was for drugs. But I'm going to cut out. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm getting tired. I will see you guys tomorrow. I could tell you the schedule right now. I am making candles in the morning. I will probably go live around 12 or 1, maybe 2. Go like 2. Oh, the kids are home early tomorrow. Shit. We're supposed to have really bad storms. All right. I'm going to bat out some candles in the morning. I got to see what the kids are doing. I was going to do it at like 2. I'll probably do it around 6. 6 or 7. I got to be careful, pretty, because I'm getting struck with a lot of content ID strikes. Especially after the last one. Everyone was asking me to put the video back up. And since I got a content ID strike, I said, fuck it. So I got to be careful of what I play. Especially on this channel. So, but I'll watch it right after the live. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, I'm hoping to do like 6, 7 o'clock. When I look at my analytics, that's the best time that most people are on, depending on weather. So we'll see. But I'm going to try for that. Let's see how the kids are tomorrow. And I got to give Winston a bath, haircut. So I'm going to go get some sleep. I will see you guys tomorrow. Scott Peterson. And then Monday starts Holly Bobo. All right, we're going to go one after the other. So I'll see you guys later. Like I said, if you have a candle order in, check out some of the new scents that I posted on the website. And I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys tomorrow.